We going all the way in. Yes, sir.
I ain't even know it. Got the revelation, now I gotta own it. Word to JG, I'm Afterglow shining. Shit. I'm a threat to the enemy, and that's on promise. I'm here on assignment.
What up, y'all, and welcome to the Afterglow, the lobby experience. I'm trying to catch my breath.
I know, right?
Today was a lot. Personal, spiritual, practical application. That's the most important thing for me. I got Jewel sitting here with me. I love Jewel. Jewel's one of our early producers of the Afterglow, and God has enlarged her territory. But she's still here, she's still around. Jewel, what you think about the message?
I think the message was incredible. It was a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in.
So relative to my life, and just relative to, I feel like, a lot of people's lives in this season.
Yeah, I think that the do it again message, people usually stall out in a disappointment, right?
Yep.
So getting yourself together after something didn't work out the way you thought it would, be it a relationship or a job or any kind of transition, is crazy, and it's the hardest thing to do. But the longer you delay, the more difficult it is to do it again.
Yes.
And so it's like, personally, that's been my experience several times in my life, too many times to count. But I think everybody deals with that. But if you could just push past, master your emotions, push past the failure, the frustration, the disappointment, there's something great on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Pushing past your emotions, learning how to master your emotions, I feel like it sets you ahead. It puts you in a different place, and it postures your heart for really God to enlarge your territory.
Yeah, people think often that just because you feel something that you gotta go with it. You know? Feelings are real, but they also have to be filtered. They have to be thought through and thought about, so you can process your emotions, so you don't just go run off in your moods and whims. And I think sometimes people either suppress how they feel, or they do not respond properly to their feelings. But that's just a thought. What you got for me in terms of that you want me to expound on or elaborate? Usually we have people come run up, sit in a chair. Today, I'm just gonna talk to Jewel. She has a way of pulling more revelation and insight. Hopefully it'll bless you. What you got?
Yeah. So you talked about how God will give you a revelation on your resources. I want you to elaborate on that. Like, I feel like God has given me bits and pieces of my resources, but even figuring out how to expand those resources and what seeds to plant with those resources.
I think that sometimes people are externally waiting for somebody to call you or something to happen or something, looking for something externally. But when God created Adam and Eve, put them in the garden, everything they needed was in the garden and inside of them. And a revelation on your resource is simply like the widow woman that was in debt, and the prophet was like, what do you have in your house? She was like, I don't know. I don't have anything. And she's like, oh yeah, I got a little oil. So he didn't bring anything from outside of her house into her house. He just gave her insight and instruction about what was in her house. So you mean to tell me all this time I'm getting ready to go into debt, and all this time I'm getting ready to sell my sons, and all this time I had oil in my house, and all I needed was understanding of what to do with what I had? He's like, go borrow the pots. He gave her a strategy for success. Go borrow pots, don't borrow a few, come back with your sons, close the door, pour the oil. When you finish, sell the oil and pay your debts and live off the rest. A revelation of your resource. She had it all the time in her possession. She just didn't know what to do with what she had. Peter, same thing. Ned didn't know what to do with what he had. You, me, we got the goods. We got the tools. We got the things. We just don't always know what to do with what we have. And that's sometimes because we try to do it in the wrong time. Right thing, wrong time. Right thing, wrong time creates this tension that you get frustrated and you give up on the idea. No, it was the right idea. It was just the wrong time. And so when God say do it again, he's saying last time you did it without me. This time you do it with me. Or maybe last time you did it, you thought you did it with me, but it wasn't time yet. And so when God gives us a revelation of our resources, he tells us what we couldn't know, he shows us what we didn't see, and then we know what to do with what we have. Knowing what to do with what you have makes you stop looking out and start looking in, and then you know what to do with what you have.
That's so good, Pastor. I got a question for you. So you talked about doing it again. Doing it again. And it's so interesting because I feel like that spoke to me when I decided to branch out on my own. For 6 months, I felt like I was in a very still season. Well, it's actually 7 months. 7 months. And when an opportunity came about, it was a net-breaking, mind-blowing opportunity. And I felt like, I was like, Lord, do I want to do this again? Do I want to have a role and be in a place of something so large? And I had to put my yes out there.
That's right.
And today's sermon really gave me some confirmation that putting your yes out there, sometimes it's just, it casts so much for your future and for your family and just everything. So, speak to that.
So, I mean, doing it again in the waiting season, in the gap, that's preparation time, right? It's not waiting time. I always say waiting time is not wasted time. Waiting time is not wasted time. It's preparation time. So when you get to the next thing, you ready already for what you was getting ready for. So if you look at it like getting dressed, getting ready, getting prepared instead of wasted time, and you keep that thing sharp, keep it hot, keep your gifts sharpened, keep your skills sharpened. You're in a preparation mode to get ready for what's next. And so God will come to you and say, do this again, try it again, believe again, hope again, have faith again, trust again, love again, forgive again. Oh, the last relationship, the last this didn't work out. No. There's a timing of God that comes with the instruction of God. And I didn't get a chance to say it, but anytime God gives you an instruction, there's an anointing on that instruction in that window. God say, go do this. There's a grace that comes with that window to do it. When he says, that gives you a different supernatural results. So in church, we tend to be real inspirational. And so I wanted to make sure we were inspirational today, but more importantly, I wanted to make sure we were instructional. Right? So that you don't just feel good about what you heard, but you actually seeking God to give you a strategy for your success. Go out into the deep again. Last time you were shallow, this time go deep. So go further. Put yourself out there. Take your net, let it down on the other side. Let it down for a catch. Drop it. Then gather your partners. Pick the right people around you to make sure that they can help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Pick your partners and do it again. So God literally gave them a strategy. Go further than you ever been. Take what you were doing, drop it deeper than you ever did before, and this time, don't do it by yourself. That's a strategy for somebody listening. You tried it before. This time, God says, go further, drop it deeper, and don't do it by itself. Pick the right partners. And when you do that, everybody gonna eat, as we say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what do you feel like God has asked you to do again? Yeah. Let's get into it.
I think everything. You know what I'm saying? I think, they used to say every round goes higher and higher. So I think that it's always another level of the next level. So it's like the same patterns and routines, but on another level. Faith is always going to be faith, but it's faith to faith. So ministry has its cycles and seasons, but in another level. So I think all of it, you know what I'm saying? Trust again, hope again, believe again. You never come to this ceiling. I think God is asking me to believe him again, like that he can create opportunities, open doors, show me how I mastered something in one season that he wants to use to perfect in this season. I think he's asking me to do all of it again, if I'm honest. Somebody came up to me at the church, Pastor, I love when you're vulnerable. I'm like, I hate being vulnerable in front of all of these people. But my truth is that sometimes I know I can look like I'm confident in the space that I'm in, but that's the anointing of God. There's second guessing, there's curiosities, there's insecurities, there's will this work? I think the biggest thing in this space and season is, will this work in this space in this season? Right?
So good.
So I said at the end, all skills are transferable.
Yes.
But you gotta think, there's moments where you like master something in one season or perfect it and learn it. You take that, you pick that skill set up and take that to the next season. And the question is, dang, will this work in this season? I worked that here, will that work here? I did that here, will that work here? And I learned that some spaces, some seasons are test markets. You know what I'm saying? Some seasons are test markets, and God is testing paradigms, and he's testing perspectives to get you to perfect something in one season so you can pick it up in a larger space, in a bigger territory, and work it in another season. But I think the greatest question or challenge probably that I wrestle with is, will this work in this season? What is my this? Everything, all of it. Can what I did here work in this space, even though this is the same boat, the same net, but it's further, it's deeper, it's wider? Yeah.
You just said plenty.
I know, but that's the fears that I think everybody wrestles with. That's why they don't put themselves out there and try again, because you don't know if it's gonna work again. You don't know.
I think that people are typically afraid to do what they know has a great return.
Right.
And having a great return, God requires more from you.
That's right.
In that return. I think my experience, especially working under your leadership, is you guys poured so much and taught so much, and I was afraid to fail forward and to fail upward, you know?
Right.
And it was one of the best things that I could have ever done.
It's transferable skills.
Yes.
It's like, you can't think you can sow in one season or perfect something and think that won't translate. Watching you in your now, and your now, as great as it is still got another level after this.
Yes.
But watching you translate your faithfulness, your work ethic, your mentality, your skill set from there to here is a joy to watch. Like, it's a transferable skill. But I think that, yes, wondering how that's gonna all play out and how, and if that's all gonna work out, is probably the biggest thing. You got to get over yourself in order to do what it is God's calling you or asking you to do. I mean, go deeper, drop it farther, and gather the right people to take in the catch. And then when Peter finished doing all that, then he left it. He left it to follow Jesus, and he left it all to follow Jesus. He sold it, took care of his business, followed Jesus, and kept it moving. Yeah. That's major. Yeah.
Something that spoke out to me today is a lot of people, they don't understand the magnitude of their assignments, and understanding that frustration comes with that assignment.
Comes with it.
At every level.
That's right.
And I think you've done a great job with being able to tell people and show doing things again or being one again.
Right.
And making sure that you just proceed with a level of mastering your emotions, but also mastering your feelings, and really just filtering through that, because ultimately faith is that's the biggest thing. And that's the biggest thing.
I think people get stuck in shallow.
Oh yes.
Right? They get stuck in shallow and afraid to break it. I always say, if it ain't broke, break it. There's some paradigms, some perspectives that need to be broken. We're trying a new paradigm for Afterglow.
Yes.
Wasn't that the first one wasn't successful? It's just that we did that, and then we did a different style, and then we did the band, and then we did the DJ, and now we're doing the hallway after church. And it's like, nothing beats failure but a try. But if you don't try different parameters, same net, same formula, different format. And I think people get stuck in the shallow if they're afraid to go out in the deep. You in a boat, you're not gonna drown, right? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? The worst can happen is you gonna have what you have. Like I said, you look crazy with the little one, you look crazy with the big one. Pick your crazy, right? And quit being afraid to go out there and do what you need to do.
Yeah. I would say, for you, my question also is how did you know what you were carrying to be able to that would transfer into another season?
Yeah, I really don't. I really didn't and don't. I guess if we made it practical for my ministry experiences, Pastor Hannah met me online watching me do what I was doing. I didn't know him. I met him a long time ago. He met me a long time ago. But he watched me online, and people kept asking me, do you know Pastor Hannah? Do you know Pastor Hannah? Y'all remind me of each other. People that we mutual relationship. Right? No, I don't know him. I don't know him. I told my wife, I said, this guy, Pastor Hannah, everybody keep asking me, do I know him? I don't really know him. I said, but maybe I should reach out to him. No sooner than I said that, a couple days later, he inboxed me on Facebook. You know, your Facebook. He inboxed me on Facebook. Hey, bro, I don't know you. I just want to encourage you. I love what you're doing. I'm watching what you're doing. And I'm just saying, it's out the box. It's crazy. Keep going. Be encouraged. It doesn't matter. I told my wife, I was like, oh, my God. Remember the guy I told you I was about to call? He inboxed. She's like, what'd he say? I said, he just encouraged me. Keep doing it. Keep going out the box. Keep doing it. That's how we connected. So in that connection of his encouragement, we developed a relationship, exchanged numbers. I met him. He came to me. I came to him. We got to know each other. And over time, he saw me do what I do, which obviously God was saying qualified me to do it on a larger scope.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago. I'm born and raised here. God's like, go back home. I trained you. I trained you in Michigan. I groomed you in Michigan, but I've been getting you ready for Chicago to come back home in this space and do it together. Pick your partners. Go deeper, go further, drop your net, and pick the right people. And so, of course, you like, man, if I was doing it there, will it work here? But then I remember everything in your life prepared you for this moment.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, then God wouldn't have given me the invitation.
Yeah.
So I think everybody just keep practicing, keep perfecting what you're doing, keep preparing what you're doing. God's going to find somebody, send somebody, put you on somebody's heart so that you can bring them into the new space. And when you get called, you only get called to do what you do or what you already was doing, because God doesn't set you up for failure. He sets you up for success.
And God anoints you to be able to do it at the level that you need to.
That's right, because He's been perfecting you the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, we can keep going, Jewel. I love talking to you. I hope y'all got something out of this and heard something. Most importantly, I encourage you that whatever God's telling you to do it again. Even if you feel like you failed in a previous season, it's not failure. It was building your faith. Get ready for the future. You got next. You got now. Do it again. Thank you for tuning in with the Afterglow. Thank you, Jewel, for coming to sit and helping pull on the wisdom of God. You got to come back. I like that. Y'all chat in the comments. And thank y'all for watching and listening in the audience. Peace. We out.
Bye.